The Chicago Police Department has a stop and frisk policy. No different than New York. And you remember when they had that, a lot of people fought that because black people were the people they were targeting the most with this. Because as I stated before, the fundamental way America work is attack and harm black people. We know the police comes from the slave patrol, so they doing no different than what they were doing before. Now, it revealed that black pedestrians are disproportionately stopped and frisked on the streets of Chicago. Even though black people represent only 32% of the city's population, they're more than 70% of the stops initiated in the Chicago Police Department stop and frisk practice involving African-American pedestrians, according to a U.S. Magistrate Judge Arlander Keys in October 17. Okay. Now, statistically, it doesn't make sense. So a small population of 32%, you have about 45 to 46% white people in that city. There should be more stops for white people because more of them, right? They come to and engage more with white people than would be black people based on this. But they pass over white people just like they did in New York, and they go after and target black people. See, when you see all these cops on these police departments, race soldiers, they make sure to keep them white male for the majority by design, okay? That's all by design. And anytime black people try to become police officers or even do the right thing, they cause them problems. They don't want to hire them. When I interviewed the brother with the Fort Worth Police Department, Vance Keys, he told me that when he was trying to get more black police officers on the force, they made a big deal about it. They had another issue right here in Texas. I forgot the name. I think it was Denton, Texas, if I'm not mistaken, that the hiring manager was trying to hire more black police officers, and the white cops made a big deal about it, saying that why isn't they trying to bring in a bunch of black cops, or what is the problem with the cops they have now, or whatever, because they want to keep it as that good old boy white supremacist race soldier system. Understand? All this, you have to understand, black people, this is done by design. I have to get you to understand. We talk about all this police department. It's the whole entity. It's not one police department. No matter what city it's in, black people is going to be stopped more, suffer more, ticketed more, etc., than any other group. Because it is okay, it's popular, and it's fun to hurt, harm, and do things to black people. And the bad part about today is now you've imported a bunch of people in here, and then they're against black people too. They will join with the race soldier against us. So at one point in time, we were just dealing with the white supremacists. Now we got to deal with the white supremacists from all these different countries, joining with them against us. Do you understand how bad it's really getting for black folks in this country? That's why I keep telling you, have your Africa plan, because I didn't feel that in Kenya. I didn't feel that in Ethiopia. I felt free. I felt stress-free. I didn't worry about no race soldiers because there's no race soldiers over there. I wasn't worried about any of that. Not at all. I walk around to live my life. And that's what I'm trying to get you to understand. This is not normal for black people to be sitting up here being targeted more for nothing. Black people don't be bringing a bunch of drugs into the city. They ain't got no cartels. They ain't got no planes. They ain't got none of that. But we're targeted. We're targeted. Now, I say only about 10% of the stop and frisk involve white people, with 20% being Hispanic. So white people have the biggest population, and they're only 10% of the stops. So you got 70%, that's black people, okay, that stop more than anybody else. White folks only get 10% of it, and Hispanics get 20% of it. You understand? Black people are under siege everywhere we go. Now, I say the review also found that supervisors help officers revise hundreds of reports to make it appear the stops are constitutional. So the whole entity, let me tell you something. I've been told by many brothers who've been cops or ex-cops. Some of them have to leave the police department, they say, because it's so corrupt. It's so corrupt. And it's so racist against black people, you can't go in there and change it. You can't say, well, I'm going to go in, I'm going to be a good guy, I'm going to help the community. It is way too corrupt. Even if it was a white guy trying to do the right thing, right? Let's say if he is. or she is. It's so corrupt that they like it that way. They like the racism. They like the white supremacy. They like, you know, you have open white supremacists in the police departments. They have talked about this for a long time. Black people are targeted in Chicago. And all these so-called shootings I've talked about before, how you got all these shootings in Chicago and nobody gets caught. You know the video I made in the past where they had those masks that you could put on to look like a black person. And how come all these shootings only happen on holiday weekends? Like what? You only trapping and thugging on the holidays? I didn't know hardcore Pookie and Ray Rays had 9 to 5s. I told y'all who doing these shootings in Chicago, and they got cameras all over the place in Chicago. For many people tell me, and none of those crimes get solved. None of them get solved. All this is going on, and you got a black police chief. You got a black mayor. All this stuff is going on. It doesn't matter about their color and who they are. They are black faces representing white power, okay? White supremacy. That's who they are. Black people in those positions can never do two things. They cannot help black people or punish white people. So you say, oh yeah, they got this brother in that. Every time we see a black police chief, does it get better for black people? No, it doesn't. He still got the race soldiers running around messing with black people. He don't ring them in. And then when they do reel them in, like Commissioner Ross tried to do, they get you out of there. When they caught him being, all the racists on Facebook, they get you out of there. You have to go along with them harming and killing black people and collect your check and be a good slave. That's not a way to live, even if you're a black person in that position. That's not a way to live. You collect your check and everybody else is just go to hell. But this is what brothers and sisters are dealing with. Shootings, like Laquan McDonald, all kind of things that, I've done another video in the past out of Chicago where one of them told him, he killed, people, telling black people that. Another video I posted out of Chicago, you had one of Chicago police looking in the bathroom of a young black girl while she was using the restroom, and they caught him doing that. I mean, they do all kind of filth to black people and to black children. You have these black children come up missing and nobody know where they at. Come on, y'all, like, how much longer will we sit here and thinking this is okay? How much longer will we say this is normal for us to live? Well, we just got to deal with it. No, we just don't have to deal with anything. I'm telling you, you get out of Chicago or whatever else you're staying at, have you a plan when you can go to an African nation? Go check it out. I always say, go check it out first. Just go check it out. You won't feel that way. You won't feel under siege. Nobody's going to harass you on the streets. If anything, people going to say, hey, welcome home. That's what they're going to tell you. They're not going to sit up and harass you. You can't walk down the street minding your business, trying to live your life as a human being. You can't even do that in America as a black person. Because number one, you're black. You're not a human being. When you're in Africa, you're a human being. When you're here, you're black. And when you're black, that means everything that come along with they say it is. They can sue the police department all day long. They can fire them. They can fire a chief. They can do whatever. Nothing's going to change because that's the way America works. As long as you have the people who are in control of America doing the things they're doing, nothing will change. And you may say, well, Chicago is a black city. We started Chicago. Correct. Do you control it? We built America. Do you control it? No, you don't. And that's why they treat you the way they treat us. Because we don't control anything. If we go over to the continent, we can do a whole lot more and we can be in more control. And you come over with an advantage at the same time, especially coming from here with your education, You know, some of you, if you're doing good, like I said, I told you about Kenya, $5,000 a month, you're rich. Some of you make $5,000 a month right there in Chicago, or more or less, and you're struggling. You barely rubbing two nickels together sometimes. You having it hard in Chicago, on top of dealing with the race soldiers. Just have an Africa plan. I'm going to keep telling y'all that till you're blue in the face. And if you get mad, I'm telling you, then why don't you create something that protects black people from the race soldiers in Chicago? Why don't you do that? If you're not protecting black folks in Chicago and creating something that's going to keep us safe and not get us killed, well, then shut up, because I'm going to block you when I see you, because you're not protecting black people. All you do is run off at the mouth and want us to stay and endure this kind of hell. This is not normal to be enduring. You can't walk down the doggone street without some race soldiers running up on you and harassing you. And they're clearly doing it because of the color of your skin. They're not doing it for no other reason. It's sickening. But leave me a comment there. Know think about this particular story out of Chicago with a black police chief and a black mayor. Black folks are still being harassed by the cops.